Welcome back. Well, today is International Women's Day. It's being celebrated under the theme, I Am Generation Equality, Realizing Women's Rights. So joining me this morning is Hetty Boachie-Yiadom, who's the co-owner of the P&H Boutique. She's also one of the Mail and Gaurdian's top 200 for 2019. I love having women in the studio. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning, Hetty.
Thank you so much, Faith.
Let's talk a little bit about the initiative. I mean, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And one individual that has got a very diverse background as well, having been born in Russia whilst your parents were in exile.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the journey for you so far. Well done. Congratulations for the Mail and Gaurdian recognition, by the way.
Thank you so much. So my husband and I run P&H Boutique, and it's the fastest growing African print retail brand in South Africa. So we started from the spare bedroom of our home, and we were able to grow our business organically. We now have 6 retail stores as well as an online store that facilitates nationwide delivery as well.
6 retail stores. Now let's talk a little bit about the economic climate in South Africa, especially for entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
And usually statistics are pointing very bleak in terms of how many businesses actually fail within the very first 5 years. So what would you say that your secret for consistency has been? I mean, to actually have retail stores, more than 5, that is a big feat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So indeed, the statistics do show that, and it is very grim statistics from the very beginning of an entrepreneur's journey.
Yeah.
And for us, I think the secret has always been to grow organically, to kind of pace yourself and to grow as organically as possible. I think a lot of times we dream very big and we dive straight into the deep end. But there's a lot of things within the entrepreneurial journey that one needs to learn. And as you go along, it's much easier then to pace yourself.
Is it easier? And I'm speaking this simply because today we're looking at equality under the theme of International Women's Day.
Yes.
As a woman, would you say it is twice as hard to be able to break the barriers, break the stereotypes, gain equality, even a sense of respect, especially within the industry in itself?
I think within entrepreneurship in general, entrepreneurship really is almost like a microcosm of society as a whole. It's a reflection of society. So when we look at entrepreneurship, particularly among women, we definitely do still face a lot of challenges. And that's why it's imperative that for those of us that are female entrepreneurs, we actually bring other women along with us.
We've been preaching this, though, for how long, Hetty, that we need to stop bringing women, more collaboration, more collectivity amongst women. Are we seeing it, though, manifest in certain industries?
I actually think that we almost have to enforce it upon people to really make solid pledges in terms of what am I going to do in my own individual capacity in order to give back. So as you speak about International Women's Day, the hashtag for that is each for equal, meaning that each individual has their own individual responsibility to bring another woman up. So when we look at the context of P&H Boutique, for example, we've got our Basadi Women Empowerment Project. As I mentioned, we started our business in the spare bedroom of our home, and our biggest challenge was access to market. We had a great product, nobody knew about it. So now that we are in the position that we're in, we're bringing other women along, other creatives, to showcase their products within our store, to generate a turnover for themselves, and to also access market. That is how each for equal is practical in an everyday sense, in our own individual capacity. What can we as individuals do to make a greater change so that it has a ripple effect?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking quite significantly about International Women's Day, and it's just sad that whilst we're celebrating International Women's Day, we have to deal with the realities, especially in the South African context, around gender parity, around access to markets where women, particularly in business, are concerned.
Yes.
For you, how do you think that practically now women are able to break those barriers to entry, especially as a female entrepreneurs? Because I can imagine that maybe let's after 2 years, a woman would look at it and say, maybe business is not the way that I should be going because things are not necessarily turning out the way that I had planned. So how then do we start encouraging those women who are feeling like, you know what, Hetty, I hear you, I hear you, but it's really hard?
You know, I think with entrepreneurship as a whole, it's not easy. It's not easy for both men and for women, because when we look at the economic climate in which we are operating in, South Africa is now officially in a recession. People are cash-strapped. They also have less access to disposable income.
Yep.
So we're operating within a very tough economic environment. And I think that it's even more tougher for the minority groups such as women. I really believe that in order for us to make any kind of progress whatsoever, we actually need to rope the men into these conversations and get them on board as activists on behalf of women as well. We talk about International Women's Day and there are lots of events and conferences, etc. But I often feel as though we're already preaching to the converted. Let us bring in the other half of the gendered world in order for us to have these conversations. Because when we look at the economic framework, a lot of the decision making is still in the hands of men. So we need to bring in men and women to have these conversations, to make active pledges so that we can actually see decisive change.
Hetty Boachie-Yiadom, I can say happy International Women's Day, and thanks
Thank
for
you very
joining
much.
us this morning.